All right, we're good to go.
Okay. So we're playing The Simpsons.
This is Friday the 3rd today. Happy 2014.
Happy 2014.
We'll start with Community. So, just first of all, Community's back. I have not seen the episodes yet. We didn't watch it yet. So you can't spoil anything for me, but I want to know what you think so far.
First of all, I was surprised by how much I missed Community. Like, I thought that it was a show I was kind of done with at the end of the 4th season, but watching the characters come back and then just the sense of humor the show has, that's a show that really surprises me. And when I watch it, I'm always I don't know what to expect. Much more than in most of the other half-hour comedies I watch, right? Like Big Bang Theory is great, but it's kind of predictable, and Parks and Rec's great, but I usually, you can't tell where it's going.
Yeah.
Community goes a lot of crazy directions, and the jokes. I thought the second episode in particular was really funny. They have a whole thing about Nicolas Cage. I think that's really, really good. So
I've heard a little bit about that. I heard Abed's kind of Nicolas Cage, always be caging stuff. I read some reviews about that.
Yeah, there is that, and Abed does a really extended impression of him that works really well. So yeah, it's really good to see the show again, and I like what they're. I think the direction they go in may work well for extending the life of the show for a little while.
So does it feel too forced having people come back?
No, I don't think so. It maybe feels a little forced. I mean, because not to spoil anything, but right away Joel takes over as a teacher, right, at Community and at Greendale. And they make a lot of references to how they did the same thing with Scrubs, but I think it's funny, they make those references a couple of times, and like, no one knows that, right? No one watched Scrubs this 9th season, so it's a random reference to make. But, and to take that as the example of why this won't work is it's kind of an extreme case. But
wasn't that Dan Harmon as well?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay. Or was that the guy who did Cougar Town? I don't know. Was it a different guy?
Shoot, I want to say it was Dan Harmon, but that's right. It's the same kind of sensibility, but maybe you're right.
I don't know. Well, that's good. I look forward to watching that later today.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and Jonathan Banks is a big role. He kind of is a much bigger role in the group than I thought he would. But for a serious actor, he does comedy really well too. So he doesn't take himself too seriously, and he really kind of fits in. He fits in pretty well.
Yeah, they love the guys from Breaking Bad in that show.
Yes,
Gustavo Fring and now him.
Who else has been on the show? Jonathan Banks has been on the show.
Well, the other guy, Gustavo Fring. I guess that's it.
Oh, right. Well, that's most of the characters from Breaking Bad already.
Half the cast. Okay, that's good. No, it's gonna be great. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's a good show, and I don't know. It's weird how much I just like having that show on the air, and it's weird. I don't really care much for Parks and Rec right now. And
That's not your show for some reason. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. I think I was trying to make the point the other day that I feel like Parks and Rec, it's like the characters never change, and you really just learn their backstories. They never really become anything different than what they were in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But Community's been much more willing to let its characters grow and develop. Maybe that's just what I'm seeing. I don't know. That's
an important thing to mention. A lot of shows don't do that. They just reinvent themselves every single episode. Start over again. Just hit the reset button every single time. But it's good if a show can evolve and still stay fresh. It's really hard, and you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I don't know what you say about that as I'd like, because you don't know, right? It's just they're gonna DLC with Mr. Freeze.
So what happened? So yesterday there was a post about a picture of some sort of statue with an ice thing behind her, and that's kind of all they've revealed so far.
Yeah, pretty much. Apparently, in the Batman cartoon, when Mr. Freeze is introduced, he attacks a bunch of bad guys who I guess are responsible for his condition at a Humanitarian of the Year event.
Oh, okay.
So I guess what they could do is have the event take place in one of the buildings in Arkham that you can't get into, and then you would just go there.
Well, it's a missed opportunity, right? It looks like it's supposed to take place on New Year's Eve. Maybe that's just part of the comic, but they really had a chance to get that done, this year or last year, I guess.
Just tag it in with the game as it is.
Gotta tie it in with New Year's Eve or something. I mean, that's my problem with this update, because this game came out in October, and now there's no actual time frame for when this is going to be released, and it's now 3 months later.
That's true.
We're getting a little too far. It's a little too little, too late, in my opinion. Like this is Like Borderlands was smart because I was frustrated when it happened, but their DLC, the game came out in September 2012, and then the first DLC came out in October, like the next month.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah,
sorry.
These guys are from Namble. They're here to talk to you. But Borderlands came out with DLC immediately, and then so that was, I think there's pros and cons of doing that. At least the game's still relevant. Like Arkham Origins isn't really relevant anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's playing anymore.
And then the other part of it is like the DLC. I mean, if you're gonna do that, like Far Cry did a smart thing of having like a DLC that's so compelling you had to play it.
Yes.
And I'm afraid this may not be. Like the Arkham game was really underwhelming. Arkham Origins, the second one. The first one's great. The first two are great. Arkham Origins is not so great.
Yeah, Arkham City's like must play.
Yeah, exactly. But so it's underwhelming, and then to have this thing come out, I'm just not encouraged. I'm not really interested in seeing it. So I have no expectations at all. I probably will likely not see it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they do something. If they're gonna do it, then do something different with Mr. Freeze. The thing that's interesting about it is that it really reminds you that I guess that fight with Mr. Freeze is just really iconic now. Like, right, when people talk about the best scene in a great game, they usually talk about the fight with Mr. Freeze more than anything else.
That's a good point. And actually, it's a good kind of adventure kind of experience in an action game.
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
To solve a puzzle, how to attack them in multiple different spots. That's well done. You're right. It's not just a button masher kind of sequence like this.
But, yeah, like this. This is exactly the opposite.
This is as iconic.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you. All the best of lists and everything. I was going to ask what you thought the best movie you saw this year was.
Wait, do you have an opinion?
Okay. I'm the only person who thought that the Superman movie was any good. And I think the reason I liked it was because, I didn't hate it. And I was excited about the next one.
I still have not seen it.
I really thought I'd hate it. And I did, and that was for me, very exciting. You saw American Hustle. Do you think that was a...
All right, so let's go through that. So I think that American Hustle was good. I think it was a solid movie. It was a bit long, but it was an impressive movie. I didn't like how they kind of are open to say some of this is real, a lot of it's not, and they do kind of change it quite a bit. Not that it has to be factually given or factual the entire time. It's a better story what they've done. It's the characters are quite talented. The actors are great. Christian Bale just transforms his body once again, as he can do it every single movie he's in. I did enjoy it quite a bit. But I think probably my favorite movie this year, like movie I'll be thinking about years down the road, and American Hustle is really good, is probably Gravity. And
yeah, it may be.
I think it was a little underwhelming when I eventually saw it. It had some great sequences. But I think even despite that, I still want to see it again. I'll still be thinking about it later on. I'll be curious what Alfonso Cuarón's going to do next. That's the one that probably stuck out for me the most. And I think the one caveat I'll say is I have not seen Her yet, and I have a kind of a weak spot for Spike Jonze. And so I think that may be a great movie. I want to see it. I plan to see it hopefully today or tomorrow. But that could be slightly better than Gravity. At least reviews say it's really impressive, but I can't speak to it yet.
Yeah, I would like to see that one too. It sounds like a good love movie. It sounds like, the kind of thing. We love Spike Jonze, so...
Yeah. Well,
all those movies seem really pessimistic, though, right? This one seems like maybe it has sort of a sense of optimism about it. I don't know.
I guess, like a hollow optimism, though, right? You're in love with a robot. But we'll see. I mean, it's also got kind of insider LA stuff. He goes to places I'm familiar with in Los Angeles, and I kind of just want to see it for that reason too. But yeah, that's kind of the one thing else. Gravity's probably my top movie of the year. This one I'd recommend to most people.
But yeah, for best movie, I think you're probably right. Actually, Gravity may be the best one for the year. And I think in a better year it wouldn't have been.
No, you're exactly right. It should not have. It was an underwhelming movie to me. It was still impressive, but I almost expect too much from Alfonso Cuarón at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that one sequence, obviously, with George Clooney.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, one movie I really did enjoy this year that's kind of random, is it called The World of Tomorrow? Where they filmed it at Disney World? But
yeah.
That's a fun movie just because of how it was made. And
was it actually a good movie?
It's all right. It's worth seeing, I think, just to watch through.
Okay.
I don't think it's not a great movie or anything, but it's a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of a fun comedy.
Okay.
Also very random.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Hey, by the way, at the movie theater yesterday, the weirdest thing I saw, they had a Trauma Team preview.
Oh no.
Yeah, for Class of Nukem High 2 or whatever. Like that made it to the theater for a preview when I went to see American Hustle. I couldn't believe it. It was horrible. They had not improved their budget or production value at all since 1995.
30 years. Yeah. It's one thing when you're college kids making these movies, but it's another thing when you're still making the same movies 30 years later. That's really.
Move on to top 5 things you're looking forward to in 2014.
Oh yeah. I made my little list. Do you want to hear mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Hold on a second. Let me make my list. Top 5 things to look forward to in 2014. Okay, first thing, this is just for me, but I saw the preview last night. I'm looking forward to the Veronica Mars movie, just because I think they'll go over big here, and it'd be fun to see in the theater.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that potential for shows you can crowdfund it and stuff like that. I know it was a minor story this year. We were talking about, we see more user-generated content in theaters and stuff like that, and people can start funding their own movies. I don't know if that's going to happen. But
I wasn't aware of this at all. That's great.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
The Veronica Mars movie, the Kickstarter actually paid off. I didn't know it actually worked.
Oh, yeah. And the trailer released, I guess, yesterday. And I don't know if it's going to reach out to people who haven't watched the show before.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But it doesn't look, terribly cheaply done or anything. I really like Kristen Bell. I think she's terrific. So, we'll definitely watch it. It looks like most of the actors in the TV show are back. So anyway, we're excited about that. I'm excited about seeing that one. I am excited about Castlevania Lord of Shadows 2.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the first one. I'm still playing through Mirror of Shadows or whatever it is, or Mirror of Fate, the Metroidvania sequel to Lord of Shadows.
Yeah.
I had Patrick Stewart in it. I'm hoping he comes back for the sequel, but I don't know.
Is that Xbox Live Arcade? Where do you get that?
I got it on... It's on Xbox Live Arcade, yeah.
Okay.
I think I got it on the PlayStation, though.
Okay.
Because my Xbox is very limited memory. I'm excited about The Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because I enjoyed Witcher 2 a whole bunch.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it's weird. I like the gameplay a lot. I like the idea of just being the guy who... Your job is to go, get hired to go kill monsters, and you get caught up in all this intrigue and things like that, and you have the magic and the sword play really well integrated together. So,
yep.
And the graphics for it, of course, look awesome, but graphics can always be a little deceiving when they're shown on at presentations and whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Witcher 3, I'm excited in general just to see what other kind of indie games show up this next year. Indie games this last year I thought just really took off.
Like I want to play Gunpoint and Rogue's Legacy. There's a lot of indie games out there I want to try right now.
Which one are you saying?
Gunpoint and Rogue's Legacy.
Oh, I'm not familiar with either one of those.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. There's some good indie games we missed out on. I think we gotta check out.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna check out Brothers at some point.
Yeah. Got best game of the year.
Game of the year. Well, and even other people who give Game of the Year say really good things about it. Even though it's supposed to be really short.
Yeah.
But people really enjoy Brothers. And of course, the last thing I'm excited about for this next year is Justified. I'm looking forward to seeing that come back. We watched through the 4th season again, which I think is, once you know how it's paced, I think it's much easier to watch. Because I remember the first time I watched it, I think in the first bunch of episodes didn't really go anywhere. But once you know the direction of the season, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to appreciate what they're doing with the plotting.
Yeah, it did have a slow forced start. You're right, but it got better towards the end. And,
once you realize how their mystery is going to play out and everything.
Yeah, it should be a good conclusion. That's a good list.
All right, what was your 5?
Well, I have kind of a cop-out to start. I think I'll start with just spring TV in general, which included Justified, Archer, and I think Game of Thrones is coming back in March. So
yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
I think that shows are. I'm kind of lumping it all together. I mean, I don't really not one of those stands out more.
I can't hear you very well. Is there some kind of a thing against the microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, nothing. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I keep hearing a scratching that comes to the microphone.
I'm not sure what that is. All right. Well, anyways, I said Justified, Game of Thrones, Archer.
Yeah, I think that's a very good list. I thought about including Game of Thrones. I forgot about Archer.
Yeah.
But I was more excited about Justified, so for whatever reason, that's why I chose. Anyway, yeah, good call.
And then I have a bunch of games. So for me, the next one I'm excited about in March is Dark Souls 2, which comes out.
Oh, yeah. That's all you, man.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that one. It's going to be great.
If you had a birthday, that's exactly what I get you. Is it on the current systems?
It is current system still.
Yeah, that's another good reason to stick with current generation, I think, a little bit longer.
Yeah, they've actually not announced any new next generation port of the game yet. It's just all current systems only.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one. Number 3 on my list is Destiny in September from Bungie. And I think I'm excited about that one because I feel like that may be the first time I feel compelled to buy a new console.
You really think so?
Yeah.
What makes you excited about that game?
I've heard so much. I mean, I hate to get caught up in the hype. I've heard a lot about it, and I think that they've been designing the same from the get-go, and it's for the new consoles, and it looks like versus like Watch Dogs, which is going to be ported to the new consoles. This thing's like it's designed for it, and so I've heard it's got Borderlands type replayability and customizations and just and a longer story. And granted, I've not been impressed with Bungie with some of the later Halo games, but I am excited about this one to see what they can pull off in the new console.
Okay.
So, anyways, we'll see. And number 4 on my list was Mario Kart for the Wii U. And so I have a Wii U now, thanks to you. And I think that it's got a couple good games so far with the Mario games. I think the Nintendo first line products they have the best games for the system. And the next one is Mario Kart, which comes out in the spring. And we love Mario Kart here, so we're excited about picking that one up and having a good time with that one. So that's be a good another reason to pull out the Wii U for us. So we're excited about that. And last but not least is Interstellar.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about that too. I don't have endless amounts of faith in Chris Nolan anymore after what I call the Batman fiasco.
Yeah, I'm hopeful.
He usually is good on stuff he designs himself. That's for sure.
Yeah, but we're hopeful about that one. So we've been disappointed historically, but he's doing a good movie now. He does one bad one good one. So after Batman 3, this is time to do the good one. So.
All right, so he owes you. You're saying
he owes me a good movie. I'm due a good movie. That's exactly right. He better deliver. That's all I'm saying.
You better deliver. Yeah, that's a good call for you. Yeah.